So, people think Mythic raiding is the hard part. The mechanics, tight DPS checks, and the execution. Honestly, the boss is the easy part. Running a 2-night Mythic guild is harder than Mythic raiding itself, because you're not fighting a scripted encounter, you're fighting time, expectations, motivation, and 20 real people with real lives. If you've ever been a guild master or a raid leader, you know exactly what I mean. How's it going? I'm Abysmal. I'm the guild master and raid leader of a 2-night, 5-hour-a-week Mythic raiding guild in World of Warcraft. This channel is going to focus on the side of WoW nobody really documents: recruitment, roster stress, leadership burnout, and what it actually takes to keep a Mythic guild alive when you don't have unlimited time. If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. So here's the core problem with 2-night Mythic guilds. You're expected to deliver Mythic level performance, but you don't have Mythic level time. You don't get extra nights to brute force pools, you don't get infinite reps. Every decision matters more, every mistake costs more, and every missed raid night hurts more. And that's why running the guild is harder than raiding the content itself. Let me explain. Real end boss of a 2-night guild isn't the raid, it's the, as many of you probably will find and know if you've done this yourself, it's the roster. In a 5-hour week, if even one person's missing, you don't lose a little progress, you lose a massive percentage of your sort of total attempts. One absence could erase an entire night's worth of momentum. As a guild master and raid leader, you're consistently doing mental triage. Do we cancel? Do we pug and risk morale? Do we bench someone who showed up but doesn't fit the comp? Do we run a weaker setup just to get pulls in? All these things are all flying about the place in your head while you're trying to get in the zone to be calling your pulls. Most wipes in 2-night guilds don't come from mechanics, they come from unstable compositions, and I don't mean the classes and specs that you've come, but inconsistencies in the people that show up each week. And the brutal truth is, the roster stability matters more than individual skill. Slightly weaker but consistent roster will always outperform a stronger one that's consistently missing pieces. That's why redundancy isn't optional in a 2-night guild. Even when it hurts feelings, if you don't build depth, the roster becomes the thing that kills the guild. The second reason this is harder than Mythic raiding is motivation. Bosses don't lose motivation, players do. After 200 pulls on a boss, for example, a 4-night guild can say, we'll get more reps in tomorrow. A 2-night guild doesn't have that luxury. After a full night of wipes, players start doing different math. They're not thinking about improvement, they're thinking about whether the night was worth half of their weekly raid time. And as a guild master and raid leader, you're not just calling mechanics there, you're selling belief. In limited time guilds, morale is progression. Players don't feel forward momentum, cleaner pools, better consistency, seeing later phases. They disengage fast, not because they're bad players, but because time is their most limited resource. Your job isn't to hype endlessly, it's to make progress visible. The third reason this is harder, it's the invisible work, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and it doubles when you're both GM and raid leader. Mythic raiding itself is 5 hours a week, but running the guild and everything else wrapped around those 5 hours is sort of done in your own time. For example, recruitment posts, application reviews, log analysis, trial feedback, scheduling, strat preparation, officer conversations, private conflict resolutions. The list goes on. And then you still have to show up sharp, calm, decisive on the raid night, calling pulls, tracking cooldowns, reading the room. When the GM and raid leader are the same person, burnout isn't a possibility, it's the default state unless you actively fight it. If you don't protect your energy, the guild slowly drains it, not out of malice, but out of necessity. And when the raid leader burns out, the guild doesn't explode, it just quietly collapses. The way you speak and the tone of your voice can massively impact pool to pool, depending on how you come across. It's something I've learned over a few years I've been doing it, that it matters a lot how you sound. You can't let yourself sound defeated, and if you sound defeated, the raid's defeated. The fourth reason this is harder than Mythic raiding is conflict. Conflict is unavoidable in any Mythic environment, but in a 2-night guild, it's amplified sometimes. One frustrated player doesn't affect 10% of the raid, they affect 5%. One unresolved disagreement doesn't stay contained and bleeds into every pool because there's no extra time to absorb that tension. And because time is limited, there's no space to let things cool off naturally, depending on your schedule. Your raid days are spread out, maybe a bit more time, but you don't prevent conflict in a guild like this. You build systems to handle it. Clear rules, aligned officers, fast, private conversations instead of public debates. If conflict isn't addressed quickly and consistently, it poisons morale, and morale is everything when time is tight. Final reason that this is harder than Mythic raiding is the simplest and the heaviest. You're leading people, not characters, and a lot of raid leaders and guild masters, I feel, forget this along the way. A Mythic boss doesn't have a bad week, but your raiders do. Most players in a 2-night guild are balancing jobs, families, school, and real stress, and still trying to perform at a high level in that little time they have. As a leader, you're constantly walking a line between empathy and expectation. Be too soft, standards slip. Be too rigid, and people burn out or leave. That balance never gets easy, and it never stops mattering, but that's why the role is harder than raiding itself. You're not just progressing a boss, you're sustaining a community with limited time, limited energy, and very real human limits. If you're running a 2-night Mythic guild and you feel overwhelmed, stretched thin, or constantly behind, you're not failing. This is generally one of the hardest leadership roles in WoW, and that's exactly what this channel is about. Recruitment systems that actually work, building rosters that survive absences, managing burnout or it kills your guild, handling trials, benches, and expectations without blowing things up. If you're a guild master, officer, anything, leave a comment below. What's the hardest part for you right now? Roster, morale, recruitment, or burnout? Thanks for watching, guys. In the next video, we'll be talking about what no one tells you before becoming a guild master. Yeah, some good tips and notes in there if you are thinking of starting your own guild. But yes, stay tuned for that one, and thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, like if you enjoyed what you seen or heard here, and see you next time.